Good morning. We're thankful for this opportunity to share with you about the ministry of the Nazarene Well House in Rochester, Minnesota. Though many of you have heard about this ministry, we're pretty certain that there are those of you sitting here in these seats that have never heard of the Nazarene Well House. To be honest, 3 years ago, we had never heard of the Nazarene Well House. We think it's really, really important that the people on this district know about this Nazarene Compassionate Ministry that is happening right here on our district. If you visit our website, you'll see the mission of the Well House stated as such. The mission of the Nazarene Well House is to provide temporary housing, accommodations, and moral and spiritual support when requested to medical treatment recipients and their families visiting the world-famous Mayo Clinic and its hospitals in Rochester, Minnesota. We strive to be more than just basic lodging, but rather a place of hospitality, ministry, and overall wellness, both physical and spiritual. Ken and I are blessed to have been the full-time host at the Well House for almost 2 years now. As you can see from the picture scrolling behind us, much thought and effort was put into the remodeling and design of the house almost 14 years ago when the ministry was started. The goal is that our guests, who often are going through some of the very most difficult days of their lives, find a place of rest. To kind of dispute kind of a myth that we've heard, not everybody that stays with us is Nazarene, and not everybody who stays with us is a believer. We've hosted atheists in the 2 years we've been there, Muslims, and those of many, many other faiths. At the Well House, they encounter Christians who care for them regardless of their faith or lack of faith, who welcome them, fellowship with them if they want that fellowship, and pray for them. We often pray directly with our guests, but regardless of whether we get the opportunity to pray with them, we tell them from the minute they enter into our doors that we have started to pray for them. Serving in this capacity is a blessing that we are very, very thankful for. In addition to sharing this blessing with you, we have an ulterior motive for sharing with you today. We have a need for volunteers from our district. Presently, when Ken and I take a weekend off or a short time of vacation or just our Sabbath rest, our board covers for us. We have 4 board members representing 3 families who have been covering for the host when they've been gone for 13 years now. As you might imagine, they're tired and they need some help. They need someone to come in and take some of that. We strongly believe that there are those of you sitting here today who would not only be blessed by ministering to our guests, but they would be blessed by you ministering to them. Ken's going to share more about that need, and then if you feel like you are wanting, you have a heart to do something like this, or you know someone else who this is a perfect fit for, we have a table right back here with some literature there. Come back and see us during breaks. We'll be here all week during family camp. Come see us and just let us talk to you about it, and you can get your questions answered.
Good morning, and it is my pleasure and honor to share with you this morning likewise. We're near the end of 2 years since Aaron and I have been there, and we're overwhelmed to be able to witness God's hand at work through this ministry. It has come to my attention that our district superintendent has a big district to lead. So I would like to encourage each one of you to be able to help him and your district with your gifts, whatever that may be, whatever God leads you to do as far as what he leads you to do. So those gifts you possess include knowing people, to reiterate what Aaron said, knowing people with gifts of hospitality. And we know that this being a big district, maybe you're not able to do it physically yourself, but maybe you know somebody closer to Rochester or something like that, where if we were to speak in their church or something like that, then we can encourage people closer to us that could help in this effort. And while we are at while Erin and I have been there, her job has been mainly in the administrative part, and mine has been in some of the construction and the maintenance part and cleaning part. She helps clean also, but we had, for example, we had this one little, in talking about gifts that you have, I'm using this example as that. We had a fan above a stove that wasn't working right, and it would come on automatically just out of the clear blue. It had an intermittent problem with it. And so I was able to tear it apart, and there was a little electronic board underneath there, and one of the board members looked online, and it was, I think, approximately $320, something like that. And I said, do we have any CETs in the area? And he said, what's that? And I said, a certified electronics technician. So he checked around a little bit, and sure enough, there was a certified electronics technician. And we went and seen him, and I said, hey, we need this little button fixed here. He says, I've got a whole bunch of them. He says, how about if I just put them all in? And I said, go for it. I said, how long? He said, 15 minutes. I said, do it. And so I said, how much then afterwards? He said, $25. So it's just, we're all in this together, okay? It's each one of us help each other in this ministry as we go forward. We have two projects that we're working on right now. And okay, I'm going to read from the script. We have projects that 2 or 3 days work teams could come and do for us upon occasion. Other times we might have bigger projects, like we have a ramp project right now, a wheelchair ramp project. When we had it bid, it was a sizable sum. And with my wife's efforts and all of the people that on our working together, and when she sent the email out to all the supporters, we've got pretty much all the monies in for that ramp project already. So we are at a stage at that right now where basically all we need is permits and work teams to come help with that project. So perhaps you can help with that, or you know someone who can. Or maybe you or someone else has specific skills, kinds of like the story I just told about the cooktop vent repair. Maybe you could add to the projects or help us in some small way. Another way of maybe seeing it, Jesus might said, go out and help my sheep. And it's not always you personally that may be doing it, but you can further his work by your actions. So, in other words, you can tell another sheep. And so that's where we could incorporate that. So I implore you to dig a little deeper into your hearts and your soul and help this ministry by shining your light in Rochester. And it's so neat to see God at work in this ministry. We take time off occasionally, and the board allows us. And we went to Mackinac Island in Upper Peninsula in Michigan. And lo and behold, there was one of the ladies, her and her girlfriend stayed at the well house when one of the girls' husbands was in the hospital. And then after they returned home to Indiana, her husband then passed. And what was so neat about bumping into this lady is that she was with a tour group, and she had stayed with us over a year ago. And we're that far away, and God puts us together again. And I think about this whole scenario, I think, what compassion the Lord has. Here's a widow probably still in mourning a little bit, and he places us in front of her and brings her joy for a short period of time. I texted her, and we met on the, what was the name of that big building?
The Grand Hotel.
The Grand Hotel.
On Mackinac Island.
Yeah, we sat on the porch there and talked to her for about 20 minutes, and after that, so it was neat to see the compassion of our Lord work through this situation, and that was really neat. So again, if you or someone you know would be interested in helping us in a little small way in this ministry, please come and see me or my wife and during the breaks or any time this week. Thank you, and may God bless each one of you.